I hate the Super Bowl. Trigger warning: suicide, depression. I hate the Super Bowl. I'm not going to talk about head injuries or political demonstrations regarding one knee and kneeling. No, this isn't really about football. In 2015, we had a 2-month old. We'd been hunkered down in our house for the most part, and my husband had managed to go out with some guy friends on Friday night. It was his first real social time after becoming a dad. On Saturday, he told me how wonderful it was to catch up with his old friend. And then on Sunday, our team, the Seahawks, was playing in the Super Bowl. We watched the game with our friends, different friends, but we went to their house. It was really fun. Spoiler, we lost. But that's not why I hate the Super Bowl. The Seahawks had won the year before, 2014. I have no beef with the Super Bowl. I hate the Super Bowl because a few days later, we got the phone call. My husband's friend, the one he'd seen on Friday, was dead. He had died right after the Super Bowl that night. His last Facebook message was about the Super Bowl. I know that dates me, Facebook. I know. I'm old. Get over it. And when we attended the memorial with our baby in our arms, there were hundreds of people there. The friend's parents asked that we give any donations to the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation. They spoke about how their son had struggled with depression his whole life. There was an implication that he died by suicide, but we were left unsure about how he had died. When we talk about the way that someone died, it doesn't help us move on. What we really need to do is acknowledge that we lost a loved one to a horrible chronic illness. This is to say that the Super Bowl reminds me of depression, death, and suicide. And that's why I hate the Super Bowl. Ugh. Fast forward 1 year, 2016. Our baby is now just 1 year old. Again, we get the call. This time, no one is dead. My father-in-law is still alive, and he wants his children to save his life. His depression and suicidality are trying to kill him. I think of it like a violent stalker, but the violent stalker is within him. I also think of it like a cancer that needed surgery immediately. He had to get to a hospital right away. But there were no mental health facilities in his town. It's a college town. They have professors, they have arts and music, they have all sorts of things, but what they don't have is a mental health place that can take people who really need something beyond an hour of therapy or a prescription. So his overnight options were 5 hours away in major cities, but even those options would only last 2 weeks at the most. They could not provide him with the therapy and long-term care that he really needed at that point in time. He really needed to address his childhood trauma. You see, depression often comes from childhood trauma. Something goes awry as a child, and we don't know life otherwise. Often it takes someone decades to remember repressed memories from being abused as a child, or sometimes people do remember everything, but they don't realize that those experiences are unusual. Being abused mentally, physically, emotionally, or sexually, it seems normal when it's all you've ever known. It's so important that adults teach children that these things are not normal, and that if any of these things are happening to them, they should tell an adult. A parent, grandparent, teacher, doctor. They need to find a way to tell a trusted adult. So, my husband answered the call. 2016. His father needed help getting to the hospital. As a stay-at-home dad, my husband now had a baby and an ill father. It was a lot for him. It was a lot for his sister, his stepmother, his father, of course, and for all of us. But when you have an ill family member, you do what you have to do to save their life. If you're wondering why I'm airing this family dirty laundry, well, let me just say it's not dirty laundry. My father-in-law is a huge advocate of being open and honest, of advocating for more mental health care, especially in rural America. He thinks this should be public knowledge so that others know it's okay. It is. It's okay. There's no need to feel shame. There is a need for us to provide more rural services. If you've ever been my student, I want to assure you that I will never tell your story. Let me just say, my students have also had occasion to need help with their depression, abuse at home, suicidal thoughts. All teachers are on the front line. We want our students to survive. We want our students to thrive. When someone comes to me with their problem, I ask myself, could I live with myself if I don't help this student? I am not a mental health care expert. I don't know about medicines or therapies, just like I'm not a doctor. If my student gets sick in my class, I try to get them to a doctor. I can't prescribe them medicine or tell them how to be cured. I have no expertise in this area. Here are some things I do say to my students, even though I'm no expert. Please, get enough sleep. I know teenagers are on Hawaii time. They're 3 hours different than the West Coast. I know it's hard to go to bed early, but your body's growing and really needs sleep. Maybe you can take a nap at some point. Let's look at your schedule after class and find time. Please eat on a regular basis 3 to 5 meals with protein a day or snacks with protein. Vegetables are good, dairy's good, but 3 to 5 a day. Please exercise. It will help you sleep better. It really will. It's the beginning of this cycle. You just need a little bit of food to eat so you can exercise, and then you exercise, and after that the sleep follows, and then there's this cycle and everything follows. Exercising is the first step. Even if you hate exercising, I don't care. I don't care what you do to exercise, but it is so important. If you need to take a mental health break during class, go for a walk to get a drink of water. Just say, oh, I need a drink of water. Seriously. If you drink enough water, you'll get to have another mental break when you walk to the bathroom. It's like a win-win. If you need to talk to someone, tell me, and I'll ask the school counselor when they have a free time. If you have a cold, drink hot tea with lemon and honey. Usually herbal tea, no caffeine if you're feeling sick. If you're sick, maybe you should be at home sleeping. If you're sick, you probably should not take this test today. Yeah, you came here just for the test. It's not going to be your best work. Would you like to have study hall right now and you could take the test another day? If you're sick, please stay home. I don't want you to cough on me, even if you're doing this chicken. Please don't cough on me. Some of those things may be wrong. I am no expert. I'm wrong sometimes. I just want you to talk to someone. If you're feeling ashamed or sad or lonely, depressed or anxious, stressed or jubilant, no matter how you're feeling, I want you to keep talking to an adult in your life. Your friends are so important too. Friends are crucial. But if your friends are teenagers or kids, they won't know how to help you the best. They love you, but they just don't know what to do yet. Adults can help. You're not alone. It's normal to feel this way. Lots of teenagers and kids do. Lots of adults do. Just because it's normal doesn't mean it's great. Having the flu is normal, but who wants the flu? I want you to take care of your body and your mind. Signing out, Advisor Sweet.